I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open, and I feel very very hungry right now. The teacher looks up at me and opens his mouth to say something. Oh, Muto, please no. However, as Hanako follows me in and closes the door, he simply nods to us and continues his lecture. Okay, so he understands. Alright, that's good. This is the third time that Hanako has had her truancy practically ignored. There's definitely something going on here. I think it has to do with her condition, because if you scold her, then she'll kick up a fuss, throw tantrums and all that. So yeah, I can see why. We make our way to our seats, and I notice that Misha and Shizune are both missing as well. Oh? Why are they missing? I wonder if it is some form of informal agreement with the staff, or if it's a perk afforded to the unique students of this school. This is getting interesting and mysterious. Definitely want to find out more. Trying to make as little disturbance as I can, I extract the relevant textbooks from my bag and start catching up. The class goes on quietly. The teacher seems like an okay person despite the weird first impression I got, and the material is relatively interesting. However, the way he teaches is really bizarre. It's as if he expects that everyone is a natural genius. When the final bell sounds, I realize that there is still a lot of time left in the day, and I'm left wondering what to do. It's odd. At the hospital I had 24 hours a day of free time, but here, filling the considerably shorter hours feels difficult. Everyone else leaves, and I'm left alone with the teacher. Moto is examining the assignment sheets we were working on earlier, marking them with a red ball pen. Raising his eyes from his papers briefly, he notices me and furrows his brow. What is it, Nakai? I jump at him addressing me, but I guess it's natural to spark some conversation since there is nobody else around. Nothing. Thinking about what I will do after school. The teacher slowly puts the cap on the pen he's holding and arranges his papers into a stack, cracking it against the desk twice. He seems very methodical, and for a brief moment, I'm reminded of Shizune, but the teacher is more unhurried and relaxed, much more routine. You have no plans? No, I considered joining a club, but don't know what kind of club would interest me. Go observe a meeting of someone else's club. Might pique your interest, I guess. But I don't know how to continue from there. Muto looks at me in a way that makes me quickly want to take the words back to avoid a conversation. But I can't, so I have to forge ahead. I just don't know how to deal with people. I mean, the other students. I'm talking to people and everything, so it's not that I will be isolated or anything. I just don't know what to think about the disabilities. It's like, it feels that I'm being impolite if I pay attention to them, and it's weird to ignore them. Yeah, that's kind of true. Damn if I do, damn if I don't. The teacher scratches his cheek absent-mindedly, looking very unresponsive. These things are only an issue if you make them one. You can talk normally with someone, even if they are blind or something. Try to look behind the superficial. There's not a single student here who isn't just a normal kid behind whatever they might seem at first glance. This is definitely wise advice right here. He says the same thing as Yuko did. I know they're right, but it's hard. How can you not consider, for example, Shizune's deafness, when the only way to communicate with her is to talk through Misha, or learn sign language yourself? Or Hanako. It's not like you can ignore her face, but... What happened? I'm interrupted by the door of the classroom suddenly slamming open. What? Okay, so I'm still not quite sure what Misha's illness is, but I guess her disability is probably something to do with the fact that she's very, what do you call that term? Very hyperactive. Yeah, that's sort of disability. So I guess that's her disability. Teacher? Misha crashes in, hands straight in, and enthusiastic greeting. Her voice loud and lively enough to wake the dead from their graves. She starts towards the teacher's desk with her bouncing step, hands energetically swinging with the rhythm. Moto, visibly dismayed at the interruption, and Misha in general, slumps in his chair. Mikado? Misha stops in her tracks and looks around cluelessly, as if she's sensing from his tone that something's wrong but has no idea what. Yes? We have talked about volume control before. Okay, so Misha is the very very loud type, right? Yes! But she doesn't lower her voice at all, and the teacher just rubs his eyes. So, what is it? We need help! We are running out of supplies for the festival stands! This is a distress! She waves a pink slip of paper she's holding around. So, go get more supplies from your art room. What's the problem with that? Plywood! Plywood is always the problem. Last time we wanted more, there was only a little. By that time we just took it all and buried it. Now there's like none left there, so do you know where there's some? I don't understand. How will I know? Shi-chan, the president thought that the teacher would know if there's plywood. Was she wrong? Moto looks like he's in great pain, frowning with his entire essence, and Misha doesn't get it at all. Looking at the two of them communicate is terrible. Like looking at a man being tortured by drilling his skull open while blasting pop music at full volume at the same time. So you're like saying Misha is the loud pop music? I'm afraid I have no idea if there's any plywood in the school, let alone where it would be if there was any. Oh, what should I do? Perhaps try to find Mr. Nomiya. I'm sure he will know where to find everything you need. You would have to pry them from his cold dead hands, but that's a different matter. I don't have time. We are so busy. She holds her head with both of her hands, looking as despairing as it's possible for a person like her. Without even noticing, she crumples the note she's holding against her hair. What? I shouldn't even be fetching these things. There's so much to do, and we are falling behind the schedule. Moto looks at her gravely and then suddenly smiles. Smiling doesn't really fit his face. I think it would be better if he didn't. I wonder if you could get some temporary help. Me? He switches to staring at me focusedly with a hard expression, as if trying to say, go make some friends. Okay. I guess I can give you a hand. You can? Thanks, Ichan, you are really nice. She pauses, does a double take, and then points at me with her finger, yelling, Ah! And looking very puzzled. Come to think of it, what's Ichan doing here? Class is over, you should be having fun. We just had a little chat. Oh no, it's not detention, is it? Are you in trouble, Hichan? Oh no, not that. No, I'm not. Is Hichan in trouble, teacher? No, he's not. Moto sighs deeply, and I feel that I have to help Misha to get her off the teacher's back. So, what do you need? Yes, Liz. I can try to find plywood from somewhere if there's none in the art room. She offers me the note she's holding. I take it, hesitating a bit. I said I will help you, but this has no implications on whether I'm joining the council or not. Oh! Still thanks, Hichan. Try to be quick. We are in a store building street right now. We must hurry. She bounces out of the classroom, leaving me and the teacher looking at each other with something that feels like a silent agreement. Yeah, I think her disability definitely has something to do with her being too hyperactive. Well, there you have it, Nakai. You have something to do now. Please don't sound so smug. Looking at the list with a number of items ranging from paint to plywood, all written with small neat handwriting that is undoubtedly Shizune's, I heave a sigh. I'll be going then. Waving the long list limly and the teacher, I exit to the hallway. The classrooms closest to ours are designated belonging to classes 3-1 and 3-2 on the right side and 3-4 on the left side, each door looking exactly the same. Further down the corridor, still with identical doors, are rooms that I didn't think were used for classes. I guess the art room is not a classroom as such. I carefully push over the furthest door and peek in. The art room. It's a classroom, but it seems rather badly kept or not in use. Actually, this looks more like an art room. But anyway, am I in the right place? Desks and chairs are all around the room. A thin layer of dust settled on them. There are some easels in the corner, so at least this looks like the right place. The room is flushed in sunlight from the big windows, shadows creeping all over the desks. Specks of dust are dancing in the stagnant air, making the beams of light almost visible. Jokingly, I call into the empty room. Anybody home? Something catches my eye and I stop mid-sentence. I think this is most likely Amy. Oh, it's another girl. Sitting on the desk is a short-haired girl, curiously wearing a boy's uniform. With a fork between her toes, a morsel of food stuck firmly on the end. Wait, how many heroines are there? I think there are 5 or is it 6? I can't remember. But if there are 6, then this is probably the 6th one. This odd way of dining seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hands, but her presence here is what takes me aback even more. How did I miss her before? She's sitting in a corner very still, but I still somehow took her as a part of the furnishing or statue at first glance. Really? Well, probably not, but she looks, pretty cool. I'm not being too observant today as a whole. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. Rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open, and I feel very, very hungry right now. Suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence and trying to think if I should. This weird stalemate keeps us both stunned into silence, punctuated only by the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Hello? The girl stuffs the forkful in her mouth and is now staring at me expectantly while chewing. This is a bit awkward. Hello. I was told to pick up some supplies from here. For some festival stores, I think. I didn't think there would be someone here. There isn't. That's why I came here too. She picks up another forkful. Doesn't that mean you're here then? She raises her eyebrows as if she was suspecting my observation was false. You're pretty observant. I guess it does. But who are you? This girl is pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai. He's Sao Nakai. I just transferred in on Monday. I'm Rin. Tezuka Rin. Rin Tezuka. I won't shake hands with you. Well, obviously you won't, but can I shake feet with you? But at least we know who we are now. That's very nice. Her deadpan manner of talking makes it hard to determine whether she's joking about shaking hands or not. It kind of bothers me. Joking about these matters doesn't feel appropriate at all. While I'm trying to figure what's appropriate and whether this girl is, she seems to have lost interest in me and is now gazing yearningly back at her food. So she's obsessed with food. Can I continue my lunch? If you don't mind me, I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are all at the back. Go right ahead, but lunch? School's already over for the day. What word would you use then? There's no word for meal you eat after lunch, but before dinner, right? It bothers me very much too, but I don't really know what I should say. I don't think you are supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with. Why not, Isao? Why not? You totally can, you know. But I'm hungry now, and my delicious box lunch would go to waste otherwise. I have curry. It's very delicious. With much decisiveness, Rin once again picks up the fork between her toes, and with at least as much impoliteness, she points it straight at me. Well, what else can she do? So, Nakai, what brings you to this place? Like I said, I was told to look for these things. No, the school. From outside you look fine. Is your problem inside? I come to a full stop, opening my mouth but not getting a word out. I can guess. I am good at guessing. Better than most people. Rin cuts me off before I can answer a question, or skirt around it somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of this issue again. I haven't even told anyone here about my condition, or maybe it's only because it hasn't really come up. But Rin's definitely a sharp person. I do get the feeling that not making issues of this is part of the social code here, as the teacher said. Not for Rin though. I wonder if the people here could relate. Probably not any better than any normal person could. I can't relate to Shizune's circumstances or Lily's either. Naturally, while I go through this in my head, Rin keeps considering what my condition could be, with an overtly contemplative look on her face. She puts her fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer was written up there. A beam of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a mass of dark shadow on the other side. I don't think it's anything in your head, and something in your gut to be boringly ordinary, like this lunch of mine. And less delicious. Well, what does that have to do with food though? The problem must be in your pants! I don't even. This messed up Sherlock Holmes kind of statement and the sheer lack of tact it was delivered with catches me completely off guard. Yeah. I think I might have read a bad, even physically, as Rin's eyes widened in revelation and astonishment. So I was right. There's something wrong with your tacker, isn't there? No! Still partially in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing that I can think of. No! Nothing like that. I have a heart problem. Arrhythmia. Oh, and he just said it. I said it. More like I blurted it out, but I said it. The girl in front of me purses her lips together and glowers at me, looking very disappointed. How boring. Trouble in the pants would have been much more scandalous. What? What's with this reaction? I'm sorry to let you down. I forgive you. Just, I collect people and a person with, you know. That kind of problem would have been really great. Collect people? People with different problems. Huh? So you just, like, go around asking people what's wrong with them? Pretty much. I see. Yeah, this girl is definitely very straightforward and very, open-minded. Not say open-minded, but definitely very straightforward and very crude and, you know, straight to the point. Yeah, blunt. Yeah, blunt is the word. With little left to say, Rin resumes her lunch and the conversation dies away. But I keep thinking about what was said. It's the first time I told anyone else about my condition. All the other people have either known about it already or heard about it from someone else. Or didn't need to know about it, like every other student here so far. Okay. Should I have told it as a natural part of introductions? Is it expected of me? Maybe when... Actually, probably not. But I guess this girl is an exception. Yeah. But when we get to know someone better, then it's probably time to open up. Hi. Actually, this sounds very odd. Hi, I'm Hisao. I have a very serious heart condition. Yeah, if you actually say this to anyone, I guess it will sound very weird. Yeah, it's like right from the start you say this sort of thing. It definitely sound very weird. Is that how I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? No, I guess only to Rin. As if our disabilities would define us. What a disgusting thought. Or maybe this Tezuka girl just has an unnatural interest in such things. As I walk to the back of the room to pick up the items on Misha's list, a chance opens to study Rin from the corner of my eye. Her hair is a burnt auburn, almost orange, and cropped short. Long hair would probably be impossible with no arms. boy's uniform and the lack of arms makes her look very thin, almost scrawny. She's not particularly pretty except for her murky green eyes which flicker restlessly from below her short bangs, even when she eats. The distance and the shadows make it seem like they don't reflect sunlight at all, but instead absorb all of it within them like deep wells. She moves her feet almost as deftly as a normal person would use their arms. However, I can see how this sight could discomfort people, especially when eating. It makes me feel a bit uncomfortable at least. You know, I'm actually starting to get the whole point of this story or this visual novel is that yeah, you have to learn to accept people's disabilities, you know. Yeah. Because it's true that, you know, normal people, when they never see disabled people before and then they see them for the first time, they will feel a bit uncomfortable in there. But this visual novel is actually trying to tell you, you know, you have to be more, tell the normal people to be more accepting of disabled people. Yeah, so that's one thing, you know, players learn. But this is just the start. So I hesitate to think about the word unnatural, but it's too late now, isn't it? I keep searching the cabins and shelves for Misha's things, but after enough time passes, the silence grows too uncomfortable. So I try to force some conversation out with this strange girl. So, do you always eat alone and this late, or do you get the occasional visitor? Visitors? Maybe you are my first occasional visitor, but I don't always eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with a certain person on the roof, if she's not horsing around. Or who's that certain person? Horsing? She likes to do sports. Ah, so that I know who that is, Abby. And I guess I know why she refers her as horsing around, because, you know, her legs look like that of a horse. Okay, so at least now I can see the pattern here. There are basically three pairs of girls, three pairs of heroines here. We have Misha and Shizune. Okay, we have Lily and Amy, and now we have Rin. We have Hanako and Lily, and now we have Rin and Amy. Yes. Oh, and that's all I can think of to say. Both of us fall silent again as Rin forks the last bits of her meal to her mouth. I look down at my haul and double check it with Misha's list. It seems I have everything except plywood. So I think I have all the things now. That's very nice for you. Don't feel obliged to stay. I was about to take a nap anyway. Here? You need to do whatever you are going to do with that stuff anyway, right? Or perhaps you'd like to watch girls sleeping? Maybe I do. I'm not sure what to make of this, but Rin looks serious. Even if I did, I think I have to be going. I'll catch you around, Tezuka. You can call me Rin. I feel that our relationship is at this point good enough to warrant this much. I was already turning to make my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine then, I'm Hisao. Then you are. Rin looks at me hard in the eyes, but that intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you isn't there. It's like she's actually not looking at me at all. She blinks a couple of times, and I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped between us out of nowhere. See you later, Hisao. There's something like a tiny smile there in her face, maybe. Yeah, I also see it too. Alright. I quietly back out of the room. As I shut the door in front of my face, I whisper to myself, what an intriguing person. From inside, I hear a muffled sing-song voice. I heard that. Okay, oh, that's true. What did she hear? I jump at the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the completely empty hallway. Somehow she had gotten to jumping distance of me without making a sound. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about global feminist conspiracy, but I pushed that thought aside. And there's Shizune, standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof as she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention. But Misha is visibly excited.
No, wait! More importantly, who is in there? There's no club meetings today.
She tries to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. What are you doing here?
You took so long that we had to come check what's wrong. That's no good, Hee-chan.
She wags her finger at me scoldingly.
I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you're tired.
Oh, sorry. I got the things here. Was just going to bring them.
I think you was up to some mischief, Hee-chan. Who was in there with you, I wonder?
Well, just a girl. Misha signs something quickly to Shizune, pointing at her own ear a couple of times. Shizune immediately pushes away past me and opens the door into the classroom I just left. I can only imagine the shock she is experiencing. With Shizune's diligence and attitude, the insolence of daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it must be too much to bear. Yeah, I suppose. And indeed, she stares at Rin, frozen in place apart from the slight but noticeable trembling of her shoulders, from suppressed rage I'm sure. Instead of blowing up, Shizune just takes a few deep breaths, adjusts her glasses and slams the door shut, turning to sign furiously at Misha. Maybe she did blow up, but I can't understand it. She shoots a very loaded stare at me too, as if it was somehow my fault that Rin is sleeping on one of the tables. Why blame me, Shizune? I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about the reason of my tardiness. Hello? Rin's voice comes from the other side of the door and takes a few eye blinks to realize she might have trouble opening it. Oops. I open the door to find Rin directly behind it, looking at us with a half-interested, half-sleepy face. Hello?
Miss Tezuka, what do you think you were doing? You absolutely are not permitted to use school property for such, disgraceful activity!
It sure is suddenly very crowded in here. I didn't know I was this popular. It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about this turn of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizune Misha's scolding, so they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizune taps Misha's shoulder, points at Rin and makes some quick signs. Why are you all two so pouty anyway? Come on, give Rin a break.
Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore. Anyway, how is your project going? Will it be done for the festival?
Rin looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure Shizune's cold stare is putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself too.
And?
We'll think about it harder. As Misha signs her reply to Shizune, her face turns into an unsatisfied frown.
Miss Tezuka, please try to take this seriously. It'll be a disaster if the wall looks like someone threw up their lunch onto it.
Rin nods assertively. We'll think more seriously. Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizune doesn't, not even after translation. She just shakes her head, takes the materials from me, and takes off with Misha in tow. Rin frowns thoughtfully as she looks after the retreating student council duo. How rude. It's true though, I must finish my project before the weekend. There will be dire consequences if I don't. The end of the world as we know it. Like weekends usually are, but more dire. Much more dire. Maybe I'll postpone my nap to unforeseen future. I am about to ask what project she has and what are these apocalyptic consequences, but she walks back into the art classroom. Since we have nothing to do, would you give me a hand? This paint can doesn't fit into my bag, but I need it. She kicks slightly at a huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on. It lets out a dull clang. Clang! Being the gentleman I am, I naturally pick it up. Heavy. Yeah, sure. Where do you need to take it?
Away.
Away? And with that, she takes off to the hallway, me and the paint can following since there's little choice for either of us. The hallway is quiet and empty now with Shizune and Misha gone, so we too leave towards the stairway at the other end. Every 10 or 15 or 20 steps I have to change the can from one hand to another because the tin handle cuts into my palm. At least it keeps my arms from tiring too fast. Rin strolls on beside me with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching. Or maybe I am walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast, and I can't figure out which. 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. Oh. Ah, Mr. Nakai, what a happy coincidence! Teizugatu, of course. He nods courteously to Rin, who does not acknowledge him back, then turns to me because obviously it's me who he had some business with. There is something I forgot to mention on Monday. I nod and wait impassively because I can't even begin to guess what he forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. Oh, goddamn heavy. It's about your medications. Since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects, which might require adjusting dosages, or even changing to another kind of medication. Oh, okay. So we will do a few tests regularly, but what I want is for you to keep an eye on everything in your condition. That feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headache, anything. And come see me if something happens. Alright. So, how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering him. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realize how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers and students here, my parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, not so much for school. Except this school. This is a small school. A small school? It doesn't look small to me, you know. It's a pretty large, prestigious school to me, you know. But anyway, this is a small school, and both the student base and the faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. And this is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. But I can also see why they don't accept transfer students often, because it's a pretty high class school, prestigious school, so that's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me that you have been at neither the school track nor even the pool, so I would like to know if you have taken up exercising as I asked. Of course I haven't, but his way of inquiring gives me the feeling that I should have been running my ass off on the track since the very first day. You have people spying on me? Not as such. I just happen to know a few people. But that's not the issue here, so don't try to slip out of it. Well, I was actually just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. And I've been walking a lot too, so that's a form of exercise. I pick up and lift the can up and down a few times like some sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down my arms painfully. Okay, that's some excuse right there. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone. Tezu, would you give us a second? Oops, the nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Rin's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you're still on your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that habits are not easy to form. The more you sleep and postpone, the harder you'll be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise me to be more serious about this from now on? Well, I have to, follow the nurse, because I mean, I'm a good boy, I have to be serious. So, I mean, anyway, I don't see any reason why I shouldn't obey him. So, Anyway, exercise is good for you, so I will go for yes. Yeah, I promise. Definitely. He studies me for a moment and then shrugs, smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy. I think I know who that spy is. Yes, you guys know who that is, right? Who probably has no qualms offering consultation to you if you want to jog a bit. Consultation? See you around. And this is also a good chance to, to get to know that spy get to know that spy more. Yeah. Alright, back to Rin. He leaves with a wave of his hand and no answer, and I walk to Rin, who has been waiting, idly leaning against the hallway wall and staring at the pale lighting fixtures in the ceiling. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off them. Are you getting medications for your heart thingy? Were you listening? It comes out more accusatory than I intended, accidentally lashing out on her. But even so, I don't really want to start talking about it. I just met her. I don't know her. It's not her business. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality too, talking about that kind of thing in public. But it's not Rin's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling a bit guilty. But Rin is just staring past my shoulder quizzically, her head tilted like a bird's. I don't know why this is so hard for me. It feels like there is some inexplicable lock that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Well, you should be upfront, Yeah, dear from my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They just make me a little less worse. Rin keeps looking at me for a little longer, and she neither says anything further nor displays any kind of emotion I could discern. I'm thankful that she doesn't. I think I'm still not quite used to all this. At the hospital, it was easy, but I still haven't sorted my feelings about having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building, and Rin leads us onwards towards the dorm. We stop at a small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. The dorm is built on a slightly elevated ground, with a wall and a few trees that everyone has to circle around every time they come or go. It's probably the only inconvenient design in the school. The entire wall, made of the same kind of bricks as the building itself, has been covered with some sort of a painting. Most of it is still mere sketches, quick lines drawn with black and white against the grey plastering that covers almost the entire length of the wall, but some places look a bit more finished. There are human faces, and legs and hands. I can't quite say what the painting as a whole might portray. Oh yeah, actually come to think of it, I just noticed the drawings here. When I first saw this picture, I didn't notice the drawings here. So let's see, we have a stick man, some faces, and then what's the thing on the extreme left of the white wall? Some kind of red square plus, I don't know, a black stick man? I can't quite see. But pretty interesting drawings right there. Yeah, but I also can't quite say what the painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of what seem to be paint cans are arranged in piles on the ground, beside the wall. See, the left side is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I couldn't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate instead. Then it was suddenly morning. Oh, you're the one who painted these faces? Okay. I have to work on it, but the guys from art class are helping with the negative spaces and base surfaces whenever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there are a lot of people with hands. The reach is better, and it's faster too. She goes on a tangent of a tangent, waving a little with her arm, or whatever of it there actually is, to demonstrate, even though I got the point already. Well, actually, one thing I just noticed that Rin, is dressed in the boys' clothes. Actually, I think it was mentioned earlier, right? Yeah, that's why I gave her kind of a bit of the the boy's voice. Yeah, because of that. Yeah, but I know. Yeah. Anyway, I know why I know why she's dressed in the boy's clothes, because she could only use her legs. She doesn't have hands. So if she has to mainly use her legs for doing things, she can't possibly wear a skirt, right? Otherwise, yeah, the panties would be seen and all that. So yeah. The white cotton of her sleeve flaps around, and it makes me think I could look sadder than it does. Or rather, it could look sadder than it does. But it makes me feel out of place. Like almost every tangible reminder of the student space special properties has in the past few days. This girl doesn't notice my dreary feelings, of course, or the fact that she lost me a while ago, and just keeps on blabbering. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if there is something I need to figure out, and then figure that out, because it's too late and all hope is lost. That's very repetitive right there. I'm trying to figure out if there's something I need to figure out, and then figure it out. Why would the hope be lost? Because paint has to be painted, and then it has to dry, and then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. It takes time. She finally stops, apparently thinking she made some kind of a statement that makes sense. I think it's best to start from the top. So, this is your project? You did this? Yes. All of it? Yes. Nice, but I stumble with my words, suddenly feeling like I've walked straight into the minefield of political incorrectness. So are you trying to say that they look ugly? Oh, you better not say that. It's okay, you can say it. I probably won't get mad. I blushed really hard. I don't really know what would be the right thing to say, if any. It feels that I'm way more sensitive than Rin is though. Okay, one thing I see about Rin is that she's the carefree type. You know, she's very open-minded, very honest. She doesn't mind criticisms and all that, which is a good thing, I would say. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? Well, with feet. See? I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet. See, there you go. What else would she paint with, you know? I almost guessed that already, but isn't that hard to do? You're good at guessing. Actually, there doesn't even need to guess. it's pretty obvious, unless she paints with her mouth, which is also possible. Yeah. But anyway, you're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is, but maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she was using her feet to eat, I figure painting might not be a problem either. Neither of us has anything more to add to the subject. The afternoon light was pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but it's not like that after all. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I wanted to see what it looks like in dim light. Do you think it's flat? Flat as in whether it doesn't give that 3D dimension. Yeah, it's kind of flat. Yeah, well, paintings tend to be flat. Not really. You can't only draw 3D paintings. Or at least paintings that look 3D. Not like that flat. You know, flat. Like some people are. No substance, no meat, where there should be some. Yeah, I get what you mean, you know, like that 2D, 3D. I know a few girls who... Okay, I get it. But I couldn't really tell. I'm not that good with art. I can't name many artists or artistic terms, so I don't really have anything to say. Rin shrugs her shoulders at that, saying suit yourself without saying it, and looks up at the sky as if trying to look for something up there. I didn't think I'll get any actual work done, but if you give me a hand with the paints, I could do a little before it's too dark. I wanted to get a halogen lamp like the ones they have at the sports track, but there aren't any. Rin sure is quick to recruit my help, as was Shizune. It really makes me feel that the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. Why not? I'm not really sure if I can be of any help though.
It's just mixing some paints. You can do that. Probably. Do you have motor control problems? Like, you know, those people have some? Cerebral palsy, maybe?
Not that I know of.
I get it. Hunting has nothing to do with that.
She gives me a sly look for no reason. No, it doesn't.
Let's do it then.
So she sits on an empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a white brush between the toes of her bare right foot. Oh, I open a few of the cans and pour some of the contents into shallow bowls for mixing. The thick paints flow lazily from the can to the bowl, like syrup. I mix them, creating funny, hypnotic-looking swirl patterns that melt quickly into each other to form a new monotone hue. Rin sets to work, every now and then asking me for a hand with something or the other. Finding different brushes is easy enough, but mixing the paints to be the exact tone this girl is apparently seeing in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision down to the last milliliter before she is satisfied, but her instructions are obscure at best.
Add half a splash of green.
I crouch down to pick up the can of bright green.
The other green. This green.
Right, be more specific. Oh wait, before I continue, let me just see the... Okay, so she's proceeding to paint the drawings. It doesn't look good so far, but anyway, who am I to judge? I carefully pour some of the other green paint into the mixing bowl.
No, that's almost a whole splash. More white.
More white?
Is green a good color to add?
No idea. You're the artist here. A hint of smile appears in the corners of her mouth.
Do you like an opinion?
No, it's just that I have no idea.
It's okay, because I just got an idea. Add more white!
With this exclamation, I pour a minuscule amount of white into the bowl and mix it. It looks slightly whiter.
That's not good. It has to be like the color when you wake up and you know that you saw the meaning of life in your dream but can't remember it.
You mean like the color of the morning sun or something like that?
Maybe it's yellow.
Or maybe it's orange or red, you know? She can't make up her mind. Despite the impossibility of mixing a color like the change of seasons or any other nonsense that's being imposed on me, I find myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. So maybe you join the art club, or who knows. Seeing a painting being born on the plastered wall feels like magic. I spend the moments I have between mixing paints crouching down on the paving and just looking at her work. Actually, come to think of Rin also kind of intrigues me a little, but I've already had my eyes set on Hanako, so that's that. Anyway, it feels slightly intrusive at first, like breaking some imaginary intimacy, but Rin doesn't seem to mind the least bit. Maybe it's just in my head. Her entire presence emits a completely different air as she patiently works the details, adding layers of paint on top of other layers of paint, steadily moving her feet, or rather foot, across the wall to add new shapes. When I manage to produce a passable mixture of paint, the rare smile on her face is oddly rewarding. Apart from the few words when discussing paint mixers, neither of us says a word for the longest time. And even those short discussions soon evolve into a shorthand, both of us developing and using weird impromptu code words for various paints and hues, as if there was some need to conserve words and breath and sound. But well, it's tiring to paint, you know. Oh, okay, there is some progress now. Which is a good thing. Nice. We stay there late into the night, until it becomes too dark to paint properly. Okay,